Hello and welcome to Gaia GPS. This is your weekly navigation for the astro energy for the week ahead, the week of August 3rd, with Mimi Clark and Nicole Oman. And so we're going to dive right in. And we start off, this is an interesting week. We're actually in the final week of Jupiter in Leo for 12 years. And Jupiter in Leo is actually making some squares. Jupiter is making a square. Well, there's actually Venus is making squares too. Jupiter is making a square with Saturn, and Venus is making a square with Saturn as they come together for one last time in Leo. So we're not going to address those completely, but they're going to be kind of the underlying astro that's happening with the moon. And Mahalo wants to be on camera, so again, some lovely Mahalo. He's making his boundaries known. There's a cat my mom calls Mustachio, and Mustachio hangs around here, and so Mahalo's like patrolling the perimeter, like no Mustachios allowed here.
That's an appropriate name for Mustachio.
Mustachio. He's a little gray and white cat, and he has like a little gray piece right here that looks like a mustachio. His real name's Jeremy, but Mustachio is so fitting.
I know a Leo whose name is Jeremy, who has a mustachio like that. So
that's so funny. Maybe he'll become Mustachio as well. So my Leo is patrolling, making sure Mustachio doesn't think that he can take any ownership of this place. So let's dive in. Let's dive into the astro. So we have Jupiter squaring Saturn, but we also have the moon shifting into Aries. And so the moon shifting into Aries is going to be our focus. But keep in mind that that is in the background. So for this, I pulled Osho cards. I pulled possibilities and understanding. And first I was like, really, moon and Aries? These are the cards that came up. But I think with the underlying energy of these squares happening, Jupiter is all about this infinite possibility energy. And Aries, moon in Aries is going to be connecting to it. I don't know, lighting up our inspiration. And I think there may be, when we get lit up with inspiration, sometimes there's a little pushback, a little kickback in the universe. And we have to find the understanding of this and find our own freedom. It's funny because Nikki and I were just talking about this actually, basically. The understanding comes in taking care of yourself. And that is so the energy of moon and Aries. Aries is the independent I am. I'm going to take care of myself. Understand you're free in all this to go pursue these possibilities. So even if you're feeling any pushback, some of this square, some of this resistance, some of this conflict coming up, find your way in your understanding, and possibilities are going to open up for you. And meanwhile, from the goddesses, I pulled Sedna. And it says, infinite supply. You're supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. So some of this, this root stuff that we're finishing up with Saturn and Scorpio, sometimes, again, that can feel limiting. Saturn can feel limiting. But this is reminding you, keep moving forward. You're supplied. The universe has got you. And what Nikki and I kept saying, it's a gift. How can you act like this energy, any of this, is a gift, helping you move on to your next. Nicole?
So what's the square again?
Jupiter and Saturn are squaring today, and then Venus and Saturn are squaring on Wednesday, and Venus and Jupiter are coming together tomorrow. So basically it's like Venus and Jupiter holding down the Leo energy, and Saturn is holding the space in Scorpio.
Okay, so we got for today we have a Saturn and a Jupiter square.
And the moon moving into Aries, which is kind of the main focus.
So I just wanted to make sure because I got some cards and I'm like, okay. So this is really interesting that I pulled these two together. And then I pulled a third card flipped out. So this is kind of interesting. I have the receptivity card and I have the sharing card. Well, giving and receiving, giving and receiving, giving and receiving. And Mimi, we just talked about this too. It's like, what do you want in your life, right? So you can't have a relationship in your life right now that you're giving too much and not receiving from anyone else, or receiving that equal energy from that person or that thing or that career or whatever it is. Same as the other one. You can't just receive something without giving back. giving back your love, your appreciation. So as you receive, give it back. And as you give it back, be willing to take that thank you, that gratitude, that person helping you out. Make sure that you show your appreciation and gratitude. I'm getting that a lot with appreciation and gratitude. Sometimes you might not be able to give monetarily, but man, if you really like somebody's message, share it with somebody else. Pay it forward. Keep giving. Keep giving it out. Keep receiving it. You are like the infinite supply. You are abundant. So, don't come from don't worry about the lack so much. Like, I can't give that out because I don't have enough, or I can't be a practitioner because she's a practitioner, or she can't be a practitioner because I'm a practitioner. Screw all that nonsense. We all got our own vibration. We all have our own message. So what I'm saying is different than what Mimi's saying, but we're not taking anything away from each other. We are working together in participation. That's the card that jumped. And do that with others. Do that with yourself. And make sure you're building people up and not tearing them down. And if somebody's tearing you down, okay, it's time to set that boundary. Let them go. Because the participation card's awesome because they're all little hands, right? One is up and one is down. It's one is giving, one is receiving, and they're all like helping each other in this like flow to keep each other afloat, right? So keep each other afloat. Be good to you. Be good. It's that golden rule. It keeps coming up. Like, be good to yourself and be good to your neighbor. Be good to yourself. I mean, don't be so hard on yourself, but don't be so hard on your neighbor. Build each other. Build yourself and build each other together, because that's how we're going to do it. And that's that Aries, like, share, give. But then it's that Jupiter and Saturn. It's like, how do I expand differently? Well, we got to do it together. That's what we got to do. So the angel card is the dreams. Pay attention to your dreams. You might be getting a lot of what you should be doing in your dreams. How to move forward. I know me and Mimi we had that conversation too. So pay attention to your dreams.
Totally. All right. So then on Wednesday, still amidst all this square energy, we have the moon moving into Taurus. It's not moving in till later in the evening, but moon into Taurus. And so Osho cards that I pulled, interesting, control and courage. And again, I feel like this really first points to the square energy that we're still going to be working through with Venus squaring Saturn. Control, Saturn can kind of be control. Venus in Leo wants to beautify. It wants to have the courage. I keep saying this for Venus and Leo, like it keeps coming out. Roar, lion of the heart, and tear me open. This little flower, this is the little flower's version of this. We have to sometimes let go of some of that control and recognize, this reminds me of the Shadow King that I've been talking about in my horoscope. This reminds me of him because he's trying to control. The controller in you, the Shadow King in you, is trying to control to keep you safe, to keep you protected. But meanwhile, there's a part of you that wants to like bloom, come through these hard rocks and bloom. And I think Taurus energy is about valuing yourself. So I think value what you have to offer. Value your beauty, value your light. Look at all this light. And I think that means coming a little bit out of that place of control. And from the goddesses, it leads to abuntia, prosperity. The universe is pouring its abundance out to you. Be open to receiving. And that's so Taurus. Taurus is about value. Receiving, giving and receiving, like Piggy's last cards. But receiving for the light, the value that you put into the world. So time to let go of this. Taurus, moon in Taurus is helping us release our control.
When is the Taurus moon?
It moves into Taurus on Wednesday evening.
Okay, this is for Wednesday. Okay, so this is just, it is what it is. Of course, Mimi. So I got, the first card I got was, of course, look at this moon, right? So we got silence, and we have the courage, and then the angel card. So they all flow together. So I want to do this as one kind of full, complete thought. So we have forgiveness. Okay, so this is what I'm getting. And this goes with Mimi's control. You want your control back. We want this illusion of control, right? So we want to control people or control how people react and all of this other stuff. The only way you can regain true control is allowing yourself to forgive yourself. Okay, so it's bringing it back to yourself. And the silence is stop all the mind games and all the bullshit that you think people are against you, or you think that you know, you can't do this, or you're not abundant enough, and all these control stories that you're trying to control everything, right? If I work harder, I can do it. Why isn't this happening? Well, because you're still trying to control it. And the only way to break yourself free is forgiveness and courage. So it's the courage to forgive, right? And the only way we can do that is you got to put the attention back on yourself and realize the reason why you're getting these opportunities, these places where you feel a little like, why is this happening to me? It's happening to you because it's here to set you free. So who do you have to forgive? You got to forgive yourself first. Then after you forgive yourself, the forgiveness on others is the easy part. You got to realize where you're showing up for what is happening. And you can either A, look at it as a problem and like the worst thing ever, and you can be victim in this, like, people are doing this to me, or you can forgive and say, no, this is a gift. I'm going to have the courage to look at myself and see where I showed up for that. I'm going to forgive myself for doing that, set the boundary, and I'm going to move on. And then I'm going to forgive you because I'm understanding you're a gift to me, instead of we self-sabotage. And so don't self-sabotage this. Just change the perspective. And that's the silence. Get quiet, and they'll show you exactly where you're showing up. You gotta let go of the mind shit.
Mind shit. We're gonna talk about that next. Mercury's moving into Virgo on Friday, which can definitely stimulate the mind energy. So, and the moon actually, interestingly enough, moon is also shifting into Gemini on Friday. So there's definitely going to be a lot of mind. So I think getting really centered with that Taurus energy is going to help. So for Mercury in Virgo, this card kind of reminds me actually of the moon card. I pulled aloneness. And I think that this is important. Spend some time in that silence, aloneness, looking at yourself with Mercury in Virgo. Mercury in Virgo can get so analytical, but if you can be silent, good to yourself, you can kind of transmute the mind energy. You can kind of like, okay, recognize it, but it's kind of like feelings, that there are these waves, these mind waves that come. You don't have to take it all personally. You don't have to ride every mind wave that comes. And spending that time in aloneness and meditation can help, because the mind's an amazing part of creation. And this is the source card, which is, you know, a card. Look at this creation. This always reminds me of like egg and sperm, basically. So spend a little time, because Mercury in Virgo is going to be an amazing time of creation. And from the goddesses, one of my favorite goddess cards, Aphrodite, inner goddess. Awaken the goddess within you through dance, self-care, and appreciating your divinity. And what this reminds me of is actually, you know, Virgo is the sign of the virgin, but it has absolutely nothing to do with sexuality. Virgin, the true meaning is to be one unto yourself. And so spending this aloneness and looking at what you want to create, recognizing your divinity, see what comes. Virgo, Nicole always reminds me of this. Virgo is that earth physical energy that helps you actually manifest into the physical. You need that earth energy. So take this time of Mercury and Virgo, use it, and see what you're creating in your life by looking at what's starting in here, what's been inspired in your mind.
So okay, so I'm a Virgo. So let me give everybody a little bit of Virgo advice. I know that, you know, I don't mean to, let me tell you about Virgo, because at this point we are going into a lot of Virgo energy. We're going in Mercury in Virgo, we're going in Jupiter in Virgo, and man, if you don't know Virgo, and you're gonna get a real interesting dose of reality with Virgo, with this Jupiter happening. And then we're going to go, our sun is going into Virgo in the end of this month. So let me break it down a little bit. I love the Aphrodite with this because yes, Virgo has a lot to do with the mind. We can be over analytical and we can do all that stuff. However, Virgo is still an earth sign, you guys. So it's like bringing the mind into reality, and it's bringing the mind into a grounded place. Now, it could trip you up if you get stuck in it, but there lies in where Mimi said is that inner God, that goddess energy, that finding the truth of yourself. The Virgo, again, is the virgin, but I love what Mimi said. But the virgin is the purity of self, the purity of yourself, right? So who are you in this reality? And who are you pretending to be? And that is what I got, the conditioning. Who are you pretending to be? The only way through that is to get out of the mind, really be a purity to yourself, and then you'll find the freedom. The freedom lies, and I'm going to keep pointing to you because the freedom lies within you. It's not anyone else that can free you. You know, you're looking for this key, the savior key, and it's like the savior key is your own truth. It's your own self-responsibility. It's you. You, Dorothy, have the shoes on your feet all along. It's you, you know? So, you know, that's where you get your power back. But if you really find, I always call, like, Pisces is like very Christ-like to me, the Son of God. And I always call the Virgo energy, which is on the other side of the spectrum, Pisces and Virgo, right? Or like opposing, but two opposites of the same coin. I always say she's the daughter of the mother earth, right? And that's reality. If you learn how to dance on this earth in your own dance, you can create anything. Virgo's about creating your reality. So dance your dance.
She's absolutely dancing in here. Like, look at that. Totally.
And you gotta find your own dance, not anyone else's dance. Yours. What's your dance? Yeah, that's working for them, but it might not work for you. Find your dance. Don't look at the sheep to give you your answer. You're a lion. Find your freedom in your own dance. I'm really passionate today.
Passion! It's Jupiter, Saturn igniting us in all of this. All right. So Friday in the evening, we have the moon shifting into Gemini. So said that's going to definitely amp up the mental energy. I pulled some interesting cards for this. I think the first card I'm going to show is politics. And I think the mind energy can definitely bring up the politics. And this reminds me just of what Nikki said. Look at the mask. There's the mask. And this mask's so all friendly. And then behind it, we have this kind of like scary person. But you know, the thing about the scary person, at least he's being true to himself. And I think that's one of the things, I think that's one of the biggest things in Gemini. Can you be true to yourself? Gemini energy can make us want to, Gemini wants to keep it light. It wants to keep it friendly, happy. And that's beautiful. But if that snake is underneath your happy, you're not really keeping it happy. Be true to yourself. Take off the mask. Rebel from those standards. You know, even if you are that snake, you'll find fun with your other snakes. Go hang out with your other snakes. Don't pretend. Don't be conditioning yourself. Don't be a lion or a sheep when you're a lion. And the other card that I pulled is moment to moment. So I really take this as, you know, Gemini's changeable here, there, everywhere. Find your flow in this energy. I mean, a lot of things are changing over this weekend. A lot of things are changing over this week. You're probably changing. Maybe taking off these masks feels like, oh my God, I'm showing up as something totally different. Give yourself the grace, moment to moment, to find your peace in your uncovering. You know, we have so much retrograde. We really are uncovering, recovering, I think, the truth of our soul. And if you take yourself moment to moment, don't take it personally, don't take it too seriously, have fun with the Gemini energy. I pulled the peace card. There's no need to worry. Everything is working out beautifully. Find your peace. Find your center within you.
So in true Gemini form, they're a little bit here and there and all over the place. Okay. I'm a Gemini rising, so I'm trying to kind of understand what this Gemini energy is saying. So first I picked the celebration card, and then I picked this dream card. And the dream card in the book usually says, like, be careful of projecting a vision that you think you want. It almost feels like a grass is greener energy, right? So celebration's usually a good thing, but I'm getting a little bit of like, you're celebrating before you did anything yet. I know that sounds kind of weird, but it's like, I want you to be a little bit cautious about overindulging this week, or being a little more, what day is this, Gemini moon?
Moon moves in late, 10:40 p.m. Pacific time on Friday.
Friday, okay. Okay, Friday night, don't overindulge, okay? You might meet somebody and you're drunk or high or something like this, and you're gonna think that they're like this great person, and like, no, it's not. It's you're projecting onto them something. So just be careful of like kind of, I don't know, going in a fantasy. That's the word. Be careful about going onto a fantasy world, because I have this enchantment card. It's like everything feels enchanting. But once you come off of that drunk, once you come off of that hangover, you're going to go, what was that? Okay. That was a projection. And that was like, I'm drunk and now I feel the hangover from it. And it might be a person, right? You might be drunk from somebody else's vibes, and you're like, oh, that was so great. Oh, crash, boom. So be careful of that. I also get with this energy, like enchantment in study. Find the enchantment with your own studies. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I think that you might be more fulfilled by your own passions about what you're learning instead of from someone else. So get that feeling from like, ooh, yeah, I'm learning this. This feels good. It's more sustainable that way. I know that was all over the place, but
that's Gemini.
I think you understand what I mean. Just be a little cautious about overindulging.
Definitely. You know what I was thinking with what you were saying, you know, if you go out, that enchantment, that illusion that you may fall into, you may not have seen that. They may still be wearing their mask. You may be hanging out with some snakes when you thought they were unicorns.
Yeah, because they got a pretty mask on, but it was not the truth. So just be careful.
Yeah. All right. So then we have Mars moving into Leo on Saturday. So that's definitely going to be interesting. I love Mars is shifting into Leo just before Jupiter dives out of Leo. So I pulled some interesting cards, Mars and Leo. Mars is action. It's passion. It definitely can stimulate taking action in romance, physicality. But it's funny, I pulled two really interesting cards for this. I pulled laziness, which we've all seen those lazy lions, and I pulled suppression. And this to me feels like passion suppressed. And you know, I wonder if laziness is actually kind of one of those ways that like, oh, I can't figure out how I'm going to do it. I can't figure out how I'm going to like, I don't know, how I'm going to ignite this passion, how I'm going to take a step in this passion. Laziness may be your way out, but I think it's the goddesses that are kind of telling us what to do. I pulled Anya, leap of faith. Take a risk and put your heart's true desire into action. So if you're feeling laziness with this Mars and Leo energy, you know, give yourself a day. Give yourself some time for it to adjust to the signs. But if you're feeling this, look how maybe you're suppressing, or Nicole used this earlier, self-sabotaging yourself from what you really want to do. This guy is all like hunched up, but what his heart really wants is to like, boom, burst out with this Leo energy. So it's time, drop the card, time to take that leap of faith and really trust it. You know, we have some time. Mars will take a few weeks moving through a little bit over a month moving through Leo. So we have some time, but watch this laziness thing, because you're not a lion. You don't need 20-something hours of sleep every day.
Well, it's so funny because I thought on the Rider-Waite tarot, Rider-Waite in the suppression card is the 10 of Wands, and that's the guy holding all these wands. So maybe taking on too much, and you just gotta like let that shit go. So it's funny because you said that, and then I have the guy. You're like, boom. I have the guy going, yeah. So let me get my thoughts straight. So the first card I pulled was Harmony, and I thought that was wrong. And then so I pulled an Angel card, and then I got the Harmony card. I went, all right. I hear you. So finding your harmony, allowing yourself to get into the flow and find your own steady harmony. Now, the success card and the source card were the other two that I pulled. So enjoy your success and enjoy each success that you have, because it is coming from the source place. But also don't get too attached to each success, because as life goes, it does this. It's harmony. It just is like different waves and flows. So if you just, oh, that happened, and you really get to feel that, and then keep moving and go into the next thing. I mean, Mars and Leo, and I know it's a tiger, but like this is totally a Mars and Leo. Like, yeah, let's party. But it's also like, sure, but find the harmony in it. Find the love of the downright hard work too. Celebrate your successes, but celebrate when you're in the moment and doing those little, steps as well. They can be just as vibrant and just as fun, because the reason why you're hunched over like this and you feel suppressed is because you're not seeing the beauty of the hard work itself, the process, okay? So find the beauty in the process, find the harmony in the process, and then the work won't feel so overwhelming.
Awesome. Love that. And because there will be so much Virgo energy lighting up the Virgo, so the work will definitely be happening. So I thought the final card we should pull is just for this last week of Jupiter and Leo. Jupiter is moving out of Leo on Tuesday, August 11th, for the next 12 years. So I thought we should pull a card for that. And I love these cards that I pulled for this. I pulled Nothingness, which is one of my favorite cards. This is the card of pure potentiality. And everything comes from nothingness, this infinite energy, universe, God, universe energy. Everything's created from there. This reminds me of Nikki and my conversation before this earlier. So perfect. Everything is our conversation basically coming up in the cards. Nothingness, infinite possibilities. You have to remember what you have created with your heart, through this heart creation energy, through this time of Leo. Look at this. It's going to be birthed. Patience, however. There are some people who are like,
how is that so Virgo?
What?
That's like moving out and going, like, be patient with what you created in Leo, because it's going to be birthed in Virgo.
Exactly. It's not because, Jupiter and Leo is over, oh, I should have my results. I should have this here. No, it still needs to be born. It's been created. It's in process, but it hasn't fully made itself known. It's in transformation. And look, this butterfly maiden, I love this. You're experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. The blessings are coming. Don't feel like just because Jupiter has shifted out of Leo that you're out of time. The astro doesn't work that way. It all works together. It all builds upon each other. So, through this week, keep putting in your inspiration. Keep coming, drawing from the nothingness what you would like to come about and be birthed in Virgo, because it's coming. It takes time. Give the universe the time that it takes.
And how appropriate is that, right? Because Leo is that fire energy. It's that inspiration. It is that creation. It is that sexuality. It is that almost that source card of like the sperm and the egg. But after the sperm and the egg happens, guess what? The mother earth, right? The mother daughter. I've been pregnant. It takes a while. It's a process. And you have to create the baby. So it's like, that's so Virgo energy. Like I always see Virgo as the mother, you know, like I always see Virgo as that, like, yep, I'm pregnant. And so it's like, be patient with the process, because the process brings so much beauty. It brings all your learning. It's not the destination. It is like, take your time. Sorry, I got a lot. I just am getting so much inspiration from your cards today.
I'm glad.
So what I picked was the moment-to-moment card. Stay the moment. Don't get ahead of yourself. And I get this one. And I like this card because there's a lot of power to this card. This is called the outsider. So you might feel like you are outside this gate, like looking at your life, feeling like everybody's creating their life and you're like, why am I not? I'm the outsider. Well, little beautiful child, look at the lock. The lock is not locked. It is open. All you have to do is take it off and take the chains off the gate and open it and walk inside. There's power to this card. You only feel like the outsider because maybe that's what's keeping you small. But it's not time to do that. It's time to heal and realize your own existence. Realize the beauty of your own creation, and that this Jupiter in Leo is only just trying to show you how strong and powerful you are. It's, you know, Leo is the sun. It's the perpetuating sun of its own light. So if you haven't gotten that yet, you know, really, you know, understand that. Understand that you're not an outsider and that you always have the power to reconnect to yourself in your own existence, in your own creation. And then I got the blessings card. So all the things that you are, the angels are like, yeah, we are shedding blessings on you. Go ahead, you know, just be patient with the process, really get in that harmony of the process, and it's all good. I know Leo energy wants to have it now, now. And Virgo energy goes, it's reality, you know. We have, you know, the third dimension has a time structure. It has rules. It has its own time of moving forward and manifesting. And you have to honor those things. If you had a baby prematurely, the baby would die. Not, I hate to say that. I mean, that's upsetting, right? But you've got to let that baby cook. And that, you know, when it's in that sweet spot, that's when it's birthed and it's beautiful and it's healthy. So trust, if you want a healthy baby, just enjoy the process. Because you'll never be in this exact moment again. So enjoy that moment.
Totally. That's perfect. So that is it for this week's Astro. Amazing stuff and a lot of shift again. We've just had shift after shift after shift. So enjoy and check out the daily horoscopes for more information. And check out Nicole she's been doing daily Instagram videos, which she posts on the Gaia Blooming Facebook page. And they're awesome with the cards. And also check out, we're doing Gaia Perspective. So check that out when we put it out. I think it'll come out this week. No technical problems happening. And is that it? Is that all I'm plugging?
Yeah, I think so. Just, you know, if you like our message, we do this out of the goodness of our heart. We love doing it. We love sharing the message. We want to empower as many people as possible. If you like what we do, please like, share, and subscribe to our stuff. Share it with other people again, and just, you know, spread the message of a truth. We are about empowering you, and we hope that we can empower as many people as possible. Check us out on GaiaBlooming.com. Check me out on NicoleOman.com. Mimi is going to get her own stuff going too, with Infinite Wellness, Freedom and Wellness. So just please, we love giving this out to you, and we want to support you. Just give us some love, encourage us. Because sometimes this gets hard to do, and we feel insecure too. And, I love getting my little messages of I love your messages. Thank you. I go, okay, that's why I do what I do. So, we're reciprocating the love.
Sending all the love. Giving and receiving. Taking it full circle right back to the first cards. There we go. All right. Have a beautiful week, and we'll see you next week. Namaste.
Namaste.